So before going into the break, we had seen what exactly is cross-site scripting. Now we'll start with actual hands-on. In fact, there are three types, but most prevalent are the two which we are going to focus over here. First one is reflected cross-site scripting, where the malicious script, whatever the attacker types in, that particular malicious script comes from the current HTTP request. So it simply means that there is a text box and the attacker will try to manipulate that text box, and whatever is the result, that will be shown on the website. Whereas the second type, which is the stored XSS, this is much more dangerous because what happens is the attacker will create a malicious script, attacker will run that malicious script, and that particular script will remain in the website's database. So this is very much dangerous as compared to reflected XSS. So for that, again, come back to our virtual machines. We simply want this OWASP to be running, and again we are going to do the same thing on DVWA. So we need DVWA. Okay, so we are starting with this cross-site scripting. The very first attack over here is going to be cross-site scripting reflected. So kindly start your machines, kindly go to DVWA, login, and be ready. This should be the page that you can see. So the very first thing is, once you log in into your DVWA, you should go to this option called as XSS reflected, that is cross-site scripting reflected. Go over there and you should see this terminal, you should see this web page. So go over here and type in your name first of all. So if I type my name, let's see how the system reacts. If I type my name and click on submit, it simply greets me with a hello message. Any text will do, any text will work. So I'm simply checking whether this website is showing any signs of vulnerabilities or not. So as of now, it's fine. It's simply typing it's simply displaying what I'm typing, right? What if I try to insert some HTML statements? What if I try to do this? How should it react? Yes, kindly check. Yeah, again I'm repeating, if I enter this HTML command in this text box and click on submit, I hope you are aware of HTML. So what exactly is happening over here? Any answers? It is displaying the text in the H1 tag. So what it is doing is, it is taking the text as it is, and without any checks or without any sanitization on the input, it is displaying it as it is, converting the HTML statements into HTML tags and displaying the statement. So this is really very dangerous, yes or no? If I do something else over here, hello world and exclamation mark, and let's see how it reacts. Yes, everything, whatever I type over there in the text box, it is converting that into an HTML statement as it is and printing it on the screen. So isn't it dangerous or not? Because instead of simple text, it can even act as an HTML engine where we can enter our scripts and try to run it. For example, let me see this particular script, font color blue and whatever you want. Again, you see it is converting that text which I entered over here into a blue color font and printing it on the screen. So it is really dangerous, because the attacker might want to exploit this kind of a vulnerability which is present on a website. If you see the code at the bottom right, there is this code called view source. Click on that and you should be able to see the source code of this much portion of the website. So what it is doing is, it is first of all made in PHP. So what it is trying to do is, if array key exists, name $get name, etc, etc. So what it is doing is, whatever value it is getting from the user, it is displaying that as it is. So I'm not going into much detail of how this particular script was created. In simple words, you can see it is echoing whatever I am typing along with a hello message. So hello and .get. Get is nothing but, get name is nothing but the one which I am passing from the text box. So it is reading it and printing it as it is. So if I pass a HTML statement, that will also be printed as it is, right? So that is really very dangerous. Let me try something else. If I use this script alert XSS and paste it over here, what should happen according to you? What should happen according to you? If I copy this script and paste it over here, and submit. Exactly, it will show an alert message, a dialog box, something like this. Whatever is the message, sometimes we prank our friends as something like this. You have been hacked, right? You have been hacked, right? Something like this happens whenever you log into your inbox. You have been hacked. It is really very risky, really very dangerous, because in that situation you have no idea how to come out of it, right? So that is a vulnerability present. There is a vulnerability present in this website, and we need to think of ways how to plug it. But first of all, let me try one more thing, and this is where the things get interesting. If I copy this piece of code that you can see on the right hand side, script alert document.cookie, and then paste it, what will happen? You see, it is alerting first of all something, and that something is document.cookie. So it is your cookie value for the current session. I hope you know what is a cookie. Sometimes what happens is when you visit a web page, it asks you whether you would like to allow the cookies or not. So basically the cookies, as you said correctly, it tracks your activities, or we can say it tracks your behavior, so that it can give you a better experience the next time you log in, right? So something like that, that is what we call as a cookie. It's a small text file, and it has something called as session ID, your security level, etc, etc, right? So basically a cookie will look something like this, where it stores or it holds the value of your current session. So you can just imagine how risky that is, because if you are an attacker and you have a particular cookie with you, what you can do is you can reuse that cookie. For example, I have logged in to my banking website. Suppose I use that banking website from my college PC, okay, college network. So someone sitting beside me, if that particular person gets hold of my cookie values, and that person may try to replay the same kind of session again, because now that person is having my session ID as well. So that person may try to replay the same session again with the session ID on his machine. So you can see how dangerous this is. So provided you have not logged out of your session, the session IDs will remain same, and in worst cases where the vulnerabilities are not patched up, in those cases you can replay the session and you will be able to gain access to that person's banking account. So this is reflected cross-site scripting, where whatever you type inside the text box, it is reflected to you, as in it is shown on the screen somewhere. That is what we call as reflected XSS, where whatever data you're taking from the user, that same data is used to display or print something to the user through the browser or through the console, right? So that is what we call as reflected cross-site scripting.